We want to do a Q&A. You guys, we're open book. Ask Melvin anything you want. Ask me anything you want. Entrepreneurship, your business, my business, entrepreneurship in general, Melvin's entrepreneurial journey, and also obviously about his film. And this is interactive. This is all family. So I don't want to have to pick people out of the audience and make them come down here and ask a question, all right? So we live. Let's go. Who's up? Who's up?
So my question is, how do you think you get people to buy into the Black experience? I own a production company as well as you, and I find a lot of times when I go to NBC and Netflix, all these big companies, it's like literally sometimes I have a white assistant named Jill, and it's the truth. And I have to a lot of times send her into places to get things established and started, and then we trick them and I pull up like, hey, and they're like, well, what happened? You know. So I'm saying, how do you get people to buy into the Black experience and trust in Black business? Because we got a stigma. CP time, everything we got for us that people say. And we got people like you and myself that try to move in excellence. So how do you get people to buy into that experience?
And to answer your question, brother, I mean, a lot of times it comes down to relatability. One of the things I'm learning about Black business LA is that Black empowerment in general, it's not an easy sell, right? So it literally does come down to relatability and finding your support there. Those who can relate to the concepts that you're looking to put into a product. That's my belief, at least. I mean, it may be the old school approach. It may be going door to door and presenting your project that way. I know I've done that in the online sense of things, where I've reached out to people to just check it out and give me their honest opinion. It may just come down to that type of reaching out. It's that approach. It's finding people who can relate to the concept.
One thing I'll say too, brother, I did an episode called "To Be or Not to Be a Black-Owned Business," and the whole question was, are you the face of your business, or do you want to be the face of your business? And I know a lot of times, like for my podcast, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, I'm Black and I'm talking to my people, right? And so I don't mind being the face of my business. But I also have a Flatiron hair brand line, right? I'm a bald-headed Black dude, right? I ain't never used a flat iron in my life, right? But my wife and my daughters have. And on the box, I have a Black woman and a white woman. And I had nowhere near mentioned ownership or nothing. So I'm behind the scenes. I'm the invisible man with that. And I think sometimes it may depend on who you're approaching, just like you've done, the old switcheroo on, and what makes the most sense. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Sherman, you got any comment and thoughts on that, bro?
Well, I worked with a lot of corporations back in the day and in my life, and at the end of the day, they just want to know if you can make them money or not. So if you can just sell them and know how to sell and basically show them how you can make them a profit, they have no reason but to mess with you, So it's like Kanye. Kanye's docu-series was kind of like Black empowerment to me, because when I watched it, I felt empowered. But I know if it was just like a regular Joe that didn't have a big name, they probably wouldn't have messed with it, So it's like, okay, it's Kanye, it's gonna empower a hell of a lot of people, but at the end of the day, I know it's gonna make me some money. Because like when I was selling real estate in Huntington Beach, I was the only Black male in the entire office, and the guy sat down, this Asian guy, and he worked there, we had the same position, and he said, Sherman, how are you gonna make me money? And that's all he wanted to know, because he was acting like a client. And now, when I go around and I sell things or I try to negotiate deals for people, because also I'm still in commercial real estate, I tell people how I can make them money. And what are they gonna say? Okay, or yes, or proceed, or here's the contract. But you have to make sure that what you're doing is professional, it's amongst what they're looking for. It's also how you sell it. And God, I had another thing. And then it's not going to be easy to get in those doors either. Like Netflix may not be their cup of tea, but you may just have to keep going, because like every filmmaker, white, Black, Jewish, or whatever, more than likely didn't have an easy time getting through the door. And I've learned that reading books like Phil Knight's Shoe Dog, or reading that and learning how he created Nike. And me being a black male, I'm thinking like, as soon as I hit a brick wall, I'm like, damn, it must be because I'm black, you know? But then it was like, nah, everybody goes through this shit. White, black, Jewish, whatever, they all go through it. When you read about successful people, I'm talking like actually read their books, not listen to a podcast, you'll be like, damn, they really went through some tough times. Living in their car, going taking showers at gyms, you know, saving every bit of money that they have, investing into their business, they sacrifice. And we just have to sacrifice too, and stop letting like race be one of the reasons in the back of our head on why we're not successful or why we couldn't get through the door.
Amazing point, bro.
Next question. Tell us who you are, where you from.
My name is Donald Durham from South Carolina, but I've lived in LA for about 4 years. So you asked a question earlier to Melvin about what was that trigger point that really made him know that this is the film that you want to make, or this is the direction you want to go. And I kind of want to ask a question to everyone up here, kind of, has there ever been a project that you've been working on, or a investment that you want to make, and you kind of hit a point that you realize that maybe this is the way I shouldn't go? Because I don't think anyone in here, especially in your position, are quitters, right? Or we're going to stop, or consider it a failure. But when you reach that point of realizing, okay, maybe I'm just going the wrong route or the wrong direction.
Start off.
All right, so I have a lot of professional licenses in financial services, right? And I always wanted to get my Series 7 license. But then I talked to a friend of mine that worked on Wall Street. He was like, why don't you get your investment banking license? And I was like, cool. I written it down on my goal pad, and I was like, all right, now I'm about to do it. Then something told me, hey man, you might want to just hit him up and ask him how much money you're supposedly supposed to make. And I was like, hey bro, how much money should I make within like my first 2 years? He was like, zero. Zero. Me knowing myself, and at the end of the day, like me knowing myself and who I am, I'm like, nah, I can't mess with that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I feel like to your question, it's more so us knowing ourselves, like really being honest with ourselves, brutally honest, and be like, okay, do I have what it takes to do that? Yes, or probably not. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing all of the sacrifices that you have to take. Like, am I gonna stay up and, okay, so another example, when I was at Morehouse, I was a part of an investment group with Lehman Brothers, which was an investment bank in New York that got shut down after the recession, right? And, I was doing well. I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on Wall Street and I'm gonna go there and do my thing. And then I talked to some of my friends that were on Wall Street, and they were like, man, we work 80 hours a week, to make $100,000 a year. Like I went to New York to visit them, and we're all out having a good time, and they just get a pay. It's like, oh, we gotta go into the office. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I could do that. Yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna be chilling and then just be like, hey man, come to the office and work on these papers. I'm gonna be like, hell no. So it's like, I say, like, really know yourself, really know the position, talk to somebody in that position and be like, hey, how was it for you? You know what I mean?
If I can expand on that, what if it's a collaborative thing, right? So what if it's someone, you're trying to give someone an opportunity? How do you know when it's like, okay, this is more draining than it is? I do want to help you, but this is now starting to take from me more than it is help our vision of, growth.
Well, you have to always measure things by how things are progressing, right? Some things, going into it, like if we're talking film industry, things take time to develop, right? But in other cases, if it's, say, the food industry or something like that, those are more, should I say, time-sensitive industries because of the necessity, right? And that's what it is. You measure the bar based on the progress. And if the progress isn't there by or you're not reaching certain benchmarks by a certain time frame, then that's not a good investment or a good collaboration. Right. Based upon what you're doing and the time that it should take to get that off the ground and do.
Makes sense.
The first part of your question was basically when do you know when to quit, right? So I think a lot of that determines or depends on what you're trying to accomplish and if it's something that's authentic to you or if it's something that you're chasing paper or you're chasing purpose. So if I'm chasing paper, and I really don't care about this business, and like I said, I've started over 17 businesses. When you chase paper and you come into roadblocks, you know what? It's very easy to walk away. When you chase purpose, that's a whole different animal. When you know you're supposed to be a filmmaker, you're going to do what you need to do. You may need some reassurance once in a while, but you know that's innate in you. So when you follow your true, authentic goal, or what I call your genius, the intersection of your passion and your talent, and you follow that, you're not going to stop. Okay? So, and the other question with collaborations is, you always have to be aligned with the people you're collaborating with. So I say this on a podcast a lot, so you guys who listen to it, just bear with me. When my wife and I were getting our premarital counseling, her pastor said to us, expectations will make or break any relationship. Doesn't matter if it's husband and wife, partner, business partner. If I'm not doing what my wife expects, we got problems in the Jones family, right? You know, if your business partner isn't aligned and doesn't want what you want, and you don't have the same goals or objectives, it's not going to work. I don't care how much you love them. I've almost gotten in a fist fight with one of my best friends who's like my brother over business because he wanted to sell pillows, I wanted to build a brand. And when you have that different vision, you're not aligned. Right. And so that's when the collaboration, it's a wrap, it's done.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
Next question, come on up. Oh, yeah, Mrs. Graham. Oh, I thought you asked me a question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is more for Mr. Jones, and you guys obviously can.
Call me Jay.
Perfect.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Jay. We all
Jay.
family.
Okay. So one of the things that we did with Black Business LA as far as trying to promote it is I actually have a friend that works for Paramount Studios. And he was so gracious enough to say, you know, I know some executives at Paramount. This kind of goes in line with this gentleman's question about mainstream studios and things like that. Anyways, so he was so gracious enough to say, send me your information. We sent him the pitch deck. We sent him the trailer to Paramount. Now, we already know it was like, you know, it was iffy. Right. So about a week later or so, they sent an email saying this is not the direction that Paramount would like to go into. So of course, Black empowerment is a hard sell. Showing, Black, production companies may be a hard sell. Do you think it's better for us to just forget mainstream studios, Netflix, Paramount, things like that, and just completely look inwardly like we used to do? Look inwardly to support each other in that way? Or do you think it's a better situation? Or should we just, test the waters in a sense with major mainstream studios? What is your opinion about that?
It's a great question. Sherman touched on it a little bit, but I think when you're in any type of negotiation, you have to come to the table with something. So if you come to the table with a following, if you come to the table with, oh man, I got 500,000 downloads of Black Business LA, people gonna talk to you because it's about money, like Sherm said. So a lot of times I think we may jump the gun a little bit. You still want to get those feelers because you want to know, what does it take for me to do a deal with Paramount? So even though you don't get it, you're going to know, okay, they're looking for this, and this. And then that's when you go back into the lab and you create this, and this. And now not just Paramount is going to come to you, other people are going to come to you. I think a lot of times we always think about, like I said, oh, I got to get a seat at the table. You can make your own table first, and then, trust me, other people are going to invite you to their table. So that's what I would recommend.
Awesome. Perfect.
So that reminds me of the movie Dolomite with Eddie Murphy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He did it on his own first.
Yeah. Next question.
Hello. This is kind of a follow-up to the two questions that were just asked, but sometimes you do have to go to these established companies because that's where the money is. I used to work in entertainment. The marketing budgets for these companies are excess of $10 million a month. And in terms of thinking about capital, I don't think any community really could do that on their own without these companies behind it. One thing I also know is that there's never a scarcity of ideas with Black people. I don't think we've ever had that issue of dreaming big enough, or we don't know what to do next. I think a lot of times the blockers come in terms of operationalizing these ideas, and so things from pitch packets to what is the ideal length of a trailer. I think there's a lot of things that require ongoing education. And so my question for you is, like, how have you guys continued your education in terms of both, for you, the creative process, like how are you excelling and continuing that process, but also how are you learning how to code switch into these industries so that you can have those foundations? Because I totally agree that Black people want their own dollar, but we see things outside of Will Smith and what happened. He has his own production company. We see a lot of Black actors that are like, got the bag, flipping it, I'm gonna create what I want. But sometimes we have to learn how to speak that language. And so how have you guys tapped into mentors, educational resources, organizations to make sure that you are resourced enough to come to the table, not just with a strong idea, but with a strong package that says, I know what I'm doing and you need to believe in me just as much?
Okay. I'll touch on the first one, on the last part you said there. As far as like the educational aspect and the inspiration, one of the things I do, right? I'm a post-production guy, so I work across the lines of production. So in terms of what I can do, I can showcase my talents in various different ways. Like for instance, I'm attending, should I say, MI, the Music Institute right there in Hollywood. I'm actually getting my audio engineering certification, right? So it is about education in the sense of what you know, and people are only going to work with you based on what you do know, right? So it's that part of it is making sure that from a credibility standpoint, I meet those benchmarks. And to talk about code switching, the only thing about that, if I wasn't doing a documentary series about Black economics and Black empowerment, it would be a lot easier to code switch, right? If I was doing a zombie film or if I was making the next Predator movie, yeah, I could code switch pretty good there, right? But I'm doing a documentary series called Black Business LA, right? So in terms of the code switching, I think it's palatable for everybody. Yeah, I think someone from the Hispanic community, or should I say Latinx or Hispanic community, or any other community for that matter, could benefit from watching Black Business LA. So if there's any code switch there, it's that there is something for everybody. Because everywhere you go in America, you're going to find Black people, right? So a good way to understand your neighbors is to understand their culture. And this is something that we're able to do with Black Business LA, is to present Black culture in a different light and a more informative way too.
Sherman, you want to take that?
Well, honestly, I learned a lot through battling Melvin. So, yeah. Like, because he works in the industry, and me, I was kind of like, okay, I want to assist, but then like he really like, basically brought me up to speed. Because we got into, I remember, I thought we came up, I was like, yeah, man, my boy got a camera. All right, cool. Melvin went to pick up the camera, and I'm thinking everything is good, and he's like, brother, we can't use this camera. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why not? He was like, we have to get a camera that's approved by Netflix, like a Netflix approved camera. And I was like, what the hell is that? Because I watched a movie called Snow in the Bluff on Netflix. And I was like, that looks like it was on the iPhone. So it's like me learning that, and I was like, damn, so I feel like I learned a lot from him. Like, we go at it a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot.
In a healthy way.
Yeah, in a healthy way. With proof, like, hey, take a look at this, take a look at that. We send each other, when we're arguing, we send each other references, So, yeah, I'm learning a lot through him. I always wanted to be an EP, like, since, like, 2010. Like, that, I've been in the industry in and out, like, as a production assistant and stuff like that. And working with other people that's in the industry and them knowing me, they're like, man, you'll be good as an EP because you're a financial guy and you're good with numbers, Right. So I'm getting into it, and I also like, I like film, especially documentaries. I play those out.
So, kiddo, on the first question in terms of education, so there's no such thing when you're an entrepreneur of standing still. It's like sitting in a boat going against stream. If you sit there, you're going to go backwards. So standing still doesn't exist. Either you're going forward or backward in terms of your education. So you want to tap into industry trade publications, you want to look at online courses, you want to look at what other people are doing, and you want to immerse yourself in whatever you're trying to accomplish. So you know, at the house, the books I read are all business books. That's my enjoyment, entrepreneurship, business. So I'm always immersed, and I've always been a lover of learning. So that's something that you want to focus on. In terms of code switching, I don't do it anymore, right? Because I don't have to. And what happens is now, and I kind of alluded to it before, when you get your platform up to a certain level, now I don't advertise to white companies, but I have Masterworks IO coming out. I have Riverside FM, all of these different people that want to collaborate with me now because of the platform I built. And I'm blessed to not have to do that. But there are instances where, you know, if you want to, it's there. You know what I mean? So, once again, I'm not in that other industry. I'm kind of created a cottage industry for myself and a platform. And that's why I always talk about building your platforms. That's paramount. When you build your platform, you control your platform. And then you can allow other people to play with you if you wanted to. Okay.
Thank you. I really like your Netflix example because that's a technical thing a lot of people wouldn't have known, and that's like the education part. But to your point with things like TikTok and all these new videos, you really can create platforms without having to rely on these corporations like we used to. So thank you all.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And your name is?
Hi, my name is Amber.
And where you from, Amber?
Jay's cousin from Jersey, but I live in today. So my question is just about the vision that each of you all have for your life. So when I think about what I want my life to be, how I want to live my life, and the type of freedom that I want, that is what drives me in my business. So I just want to hear from each of you, what is your vision for your life and how do you want to live and move in the world?
I always wanted to live like a drug kingpin without selling drugs. I was like my vision always, but like doing it the legal way, because I like the fact that, you know, I honestly, for me, I just like to help people and put them in the position to succeed with anything that I can, you know. And I noticed, like with myself, I'm most successful helping other people with the things that I know or that I research. Because I'm an avid reader, and like say, I watch YouTube for fun or read books. I have 2 bookshelves in my office. Like I'm like a complete nerd, you know? So it's like some people will come up to me and be like, hey man, how can I do this or how can I do this? Like I'm a big resource for people. So I feel like in order for you, for me to make money, I would have to help other people make money. The richest man in the world is only rich because he helps a lot of people make money. Jeff Bezos. You know, he doesn't sell the products. He helps other people sell their products and he get his cut. You know? So like that's kind of like how I would like to be. It's like, okay, you know, I'm just helping everybody eat, everyone be successful if I can. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's like the real basis of being like an entrepreneur for me. Like whatever you want, I can get you a good deal. You'll like it. You'll probably come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Great salesman right there, baby.
Yeah, you know, salesman by nature. I've been selling ever since I was 5 years old, you know, and that's what I love to do. But whatever you love to do, that you can like stay up at night and you like, you know, you don't want to be like, man, F it, I want to quit. You know what I mean? If you could see yourself never quitting, I feel like that's the best vision, no matter what it is. You know, there's people out there that give swimming lessons to kids that are happy. You know what I mean? But there's people like me that put a lot of pressure on myself, and I'm happy with that pressure because if I don't feel it, I'll probably be depressed or something, you know? But that's my personality type. Like I grew up like that, you know? And I'm cool with that.
How about you, Will?
Well, mine will be a bit different. No, I'm joking. No, this is my brother here, very good man. In my case, my vision is to be the best family man I can be. That's one. Second is to be a major contributor to our people. When it comes to black people and the black experience in America, I want to be a major contributor and helping us move the needle in terms of success. whether that's, you know, what I'm doing in film and media, or rather how we view life in general. Because one of the things I live by is, you know, I work with pixels. Pixels deal with, you know, reflections or images or scenes in life. And if I can show people the type of scenes in life where Black people are successful, I feel like I'm giving a great contribution there. But also, I want to be an example of that by you know, being a great husband and being a great contributor to my community as well.
And for me, vision of my life, for a while, I didn't know, to be honest with you. So as an entrepreneur, I think a lot of us may have ADD, right? And so there was all types of business that float around in my head every day. They still happen. I'm focused. But my vision was to impact in a positive way my community. So I go back to one of my favorite uncles passed away, and I was talking to my wife, my aunt. He died about 15, 20 years ago, and I was talking to my aunt, and I said, what were Unc's last words? And his last words were, "Did I contribute?" And he said it twice, "Did I contribute?" And that was powerful. And I thought, I'm like, man, whatever I do, I want to be able to contribute in a positive manner to my family and to my community and to others that I come in contact with. What that looked like, I wasn't sure at the time. But as I continued to move forward and Black Entrepreneur Blueprint evolved and came into play, I know, my wife would tell you, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my mission, and this is something that I was built to do. So I think sometimes we don't necessarily know, but if we keep moving in the right path, the right direction, eventually, if you're open-minded, it'll come to you. And don't be afraid, whatever that looks like, because that message is for you. It's not for me, Mel, anybody. It's for you. So whatever your vision looks like, you stick to that, not what somebody else's vision of you they think it's supposed to be. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir. You're welcome.
Great question.
It's a two-part question. Sorry.
What's your name? Where you from, bro?
Oh, I'm sorry. Talvante from California.
All right.
It's a two-part question. When it comes to marketing, if you have a business, excuse me if I'm stuttering, if you have a business that you're trying to marketing and it's fairly new, and you're trying to get it out there, what would you recommend? Because it's new technology and people kind of don't go with new technology. So I just want to know, because for example, I went to Vegas because I thought that would be my main market. And when I went out there, they was like, oh, we can't use this because the casinos wouldn't allow it. So it was kind of discouraging. I'll tell you what it's called, Stanford Tip, basically. So I created a tipping service basically to eliminate cash because people don't carry cash no more. So I created a function where people can get tips by just scanning your phone, but they share their tips together where they can't use it. But then the next morning I went to breakfast and the waitress was like, they're the minority, not the majority. Right. So when it comes to marketing, I've been trying to get out there. I got videos. Of course I'm on a limited budget, but I try to do like animated videos and stuff like that. So what would y'all recommend when it comes to marketing?
I'll give you one tip right here, and this has helped me, is it's cross-platform. For instance, like Tariq Nasheed, I use him as an example. He has a large following, whereas on the weekends, perhaps when he does his podcast, you know, you're talking about viewership up to 9,000 to 10,000 people. However, you can buy ad space on his platform. That's a good way of doing it, and it's not super expensive to do. And so that's what I would recommend is being able to advertise your brand or your concept on platforms that draws a lot of traffic. That's one way, I believe.
I always talk about the formula: problem, solution, result, right? So what the problem is, identify that. What problem does your app solve?
Like I said, since people don't carry cash no more, it eliminates, you can still tip somebody with your phone, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is the primary customer, your customer, that would benefit from that?
So people who provide the service that receive tips, valets, service people, basically to that point.
Okay. Now, how can you get in contact with a group of those people at one time? Where do they hang out online? Do they have organizations? Do they have memberships? Do they have associations?
So that's the problem I came into. So then I did guerrilla marketing, which is when you work, it's hard to do guerrilla marketing. You go out, pass out flyers, and then most 9 times out of 10 people will just throw the flyer.
All right. So what you have to do now is perception. So when you're passing out flyers, right, you're looking like you need something. You don't pass out flyers. You give them an opportunity to work with you, and that's how you position your product. And the way that you can do that is if you can go in and possibly speak at an association, and like I said, I don't know your specific industry, but if there are people in the tip, that take tips and they make a lot of their percentage of their money on tips, can you come and speak at an association meeting, be it Zoom or whatever? These are the benefits of this app, okay? So now you're able to do what? And I'm gonna give you, I don't wanna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna ask you a question, all right? I want you to fill this in. I help A, who do you help?
Let's say a valet person, a service person.
I help A, you help valet and service people do?
Get funds that they wasn't gonna receive at first. So basically additional money that they wasn't receiving.
Okay. I help service people get additional money by?
Providing a product that they can use to collect the money.
That's your elevator pitch right there. But now you got to hone it, and now you have to focus it and position yourself as an authority where people are going to want to come to you. So when the conversation or the tables are turned, and I'll shorten this out, it's just like if somebody calls me to sell me something, I'm in control, right? You're not in control, I'm in control. You called me, right? So now you got to make them call you. And it's all about perception. So hopefully that'll help you out a little bit.
And then the second part is, I have another business that I'm starting, but kind of, it's more a question to you. So you said you rented equipment.
Yes.
And so you didn't have the best equipment at first. So if you have a service that you provide that you know is good, do you put it out there before you have what you need, or do you just, as you go and grow it, basically make improvements to it?
One correction. I had great equipment.
Oh, sorry.
And I say that because if you're gonna rent something, rent the best thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Don't rent generic. If you working with low funds, you would probably benefit by buying generic in that case, because everything is based upon your budget, right? But if you have the budget to rent the best thing. So in that case, I rented the best thing. But I'm sorry, what's the second part of the question?
Oh, so do you put your product out there before it's ready, or as you get the more income in, you basically build it as you go?
Depending on what you're doing. If we're talking about a film, in my case, the whole point of a trailer is to introduce the concept, so you can do it. You can put out your concept before the finished product because you're presenting the concept. And I guess that's applicable to a lot of different industries, actually. If you have a strong, solid foundational concept, and as you just did with Jay here, you just developed an elevator pitch there. You're ready to, shall I say, market your concept. Now the hard product itself depends on the industry. If it's a film, you probably can get away with not having it done, but anything else like a clothing brand or something, you definitely need some tangibility.
Okay.
So it all depends on what you're doing in the industry.
Thank you.
All right. What's your name, bro? Where you from?
Yes. My name is Mark. I live here in LA. I'm originally from Michigan.
Okay, cool.
All right.
This question was for Melvin.
Yes, sir.
When you were interviewing like each of the business owners,
Yes, sir.
and they were talking to you, about how they got started. What did you learn from each of them that you took away that you can apply to your own journey of, in your business?
Well, I mean, interviewing black businesses here in Los Angeles, one thing that's a common thread amongst all of them is the sustainability of what it is that they're doing. And I look at all the industries that I interviewed, and if they can make it, it gives me the confidence to keep doing what I'm doing, because here I am in the film industry. I'm in Los Angeles, where Hollywood is in Los Angeles. I know I have a fighting chance because I have the level of tangibility that can reach a great multitude of people. what I learned from but to answer your question directly is what I actually learned from others is that struggle is just part of the process. Never give up. Yes, sir.
And one more, like you two working together, like, because sometimes, you know, it's hard for two brothers to work together without egos being big. Like, how did y'all come together, and like, what was some strategies y'all, you know, talk about? Like, okay, we finna work together. Okay, how can we make this work? You know, and stay humble and stay connected, you know, because the strength in numbers.
We definitely aren't humble. Humble means to show a low importance of yourself, and we never do that. Like, you know, when we talk, we're like, hey man, I could do this, I could do that, but then we just expect each other to follow through. Like, say, he was in the military, he, you know, also amongst other things. My father was in the military, my grandfather was in the military. I have an uncle that was in the World War, like, he goes back, so I grew up in the militant background. So it's kind of like when we give our word, we expect each other to follow up no matter what. It's like, hey, we have an appointment at 3 o'clock. We both showing up early. We're here. What's going on? You know what I mean? But also being a person of your word is very, very important in business. You know, following up. If something happens, like say if you work a job, you know, and you're supposed to be there at 8, if you're not there by 8, 8:05, 8:15, you're gonna get fired. So it's like, if we make an agreement and we agree to be somewhere at 8, why are you telling me, oh, I can't make it till 9:30, 10? Why are you doing that to me? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I feel like we both have those. We didn't really set it. It's like we both just have those expectations just off the top. You know, no matter who we work with, and we're very militant and diligent with like everything that we do. Where it's just kind of scary. You know, we'll be up till 3 a.m. Hey, bro, I got this guy we need to talk to. Oh, he's up? Oh, yeah, okay, call him right now. You know what I mean? It's like that.
That's cool. Like, y'all values and principles align, so it makes it more easier to work together. So that's good.
And to add to what Sherman is saying, you know, the accountability part. It's like everything is solution oriented, right? We're not defeated. You know, no matter how hard something may be. There's nights where I wanted to literally quit, but you know what? I didn't quit because I know I had the skill to get it done. Just finding the inspiration to do it, right? But, you know, or if Sherman have an issue, he comes to me and say, well, Mel, you know, how you do this, how you do that. If I don't know, I'll tell him I don't know, but yet I will at least provide a solution for him to try, and vice versa. There's times where I didn't necessarily like something I did on the video front. And Sherman's like, I don't know, man, I like it, what's wrong with it? And sometimes as creators, we get in our own head. And you know, sometimes you need a person that's outside of that creative space to give you an honest opinion. And Sherman, you know, he's an executive producer of Black Business LA, finance guy, and he's worked in the industry too. So I can trust his opinion. It's a valued opinion that's been presented to me in form of a solution.
Yeah, and that's like going back to what he said during the interview. You know, he was like, yeah, I want to do a documentary, but you know, I work with a lot of Black business owners in LA, and I'm, you know, pretty well known out here. So it's like for me to get him interviews was nothing. I'm talking about like as soon as we started, he had like 15 people to call like that, and probably missed out on LA connection. Yeah, like it was crazy, you know. And we missed a few people, but for sure, hopefully they'll get on. But yeah, it was
good stuff.
Appreciate it.
That's all the questions I have.
You got any other questions? Anybody? All right, so what we want to do now, we always talk about collaboration. So we have entrepreneurs. How many entrepreneurs in the house? Raise your hands. All right, we got a decent amount. All right, so if you guys can come up real quick, don't make me use the trap door on y'all. All right? I'm telling y'all, come up real quick, tell me who you are, what your business is, and how we can connect with you. All right, come on up. Y'all can line up. Yeah. Grab that mic right where you work.
Camera
to this.
Hey everybody, we're gonna come alive, all right? And I'm Donald Durham once again from Rockville, South Carolina. Been out here in LA for 4 years. I used to teach elementary school back in South Carolina. as well as 2 years out here in Burbank, and kind of just realized that being in the classroom isn't exactly what I wanted to do. Created Mission to Math, which is an education service. If you've heard of Mathnasium, you've heard of Kumon, then those are very, trust me, we will be much higher than they are in the sense of kids actually enjoy coming to us. We have a gamified curriculum that teaches them math, robotics, coding, and we're now starting to get into the arts as well. So please check us out at missiontomath.com. We offer both in-person and virtual tutoring if you want to get your kid helped out. All right, there you go.
Man, appreciate it.
What's going on, everybody? Is on? A little quiet, speak up. My name is Emir Horton, born and raised in Philly, live here in LA for about 4 years also. I'm a television producer at a startup studio production company called The Same Room. And I'm also the founder and CEO of Earth Watch Company, where we sell luxury timepieces at an accessible price point. Right now, we are hosting a crowdfunding campaign. You can check us out at earthwatches.com and at earthwatch on Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
What up, y'all? My name is Paris. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Been out here for about a little bit over a decade, and I have my music degree in production. I have a studio called Paris Studios in Burbank, and you can find me on Instagram at Paris_studios.
How do you spell Paris?
Like the city,
Okay.
France, or Paris.
All right.
What's up?
Yep.
Appreciate you, baby.
Hi again, I'm Amber McNeil. I'm a financial advisor. I partner with Northwestern Mutual. I specifically focus on Black businesses and Black families. So Black businesses, Black families in here that need a financial advisor, please check me out.
What's your how can they connect?
Sorry. AmberMcNeil.nm.com. So AmberMcNeil.nm.com. And I also have business cards.
Hi everyone, Taylor Jones,
Turn to the camera, kids.
Jay's daughter. I work as a marketing manager at Peloton Interactive. However, on the side, I do run a resume company. I'm a big proponent in people that you need money to make money, and I think a lot of people kind of hit roadblockers when they're working 60 hours a week. And so I do resumes both for junior and executive levels to get people in tech roles where they have better work-life balance. They make 6 figures with the goal of helping them to be able to fund their entrepreneurship. So if you are in a place where you feel like your job is in a rut, you know that you still need to be in a formal 9-to-5, but it needs to make more money, have unlimited PTO, that kind of stuff, please come find me and I can get you set up so that eventually you can use your job to make money outside that job.
How do you connect?
It's still in the works. Come find me. So you can connect with him. But I've got people in some really good companies, so come see me.
Greetings, family. My name is Bam. Bam, bam, bam. I'm the founder of a company called BAM.eco. Facts. What's unique about our company, BAM.eco? The extension .eco is one of 2 internet extensions in the world, like .com, that are Black owned. The only 2 that are Black owned are .eco and .hiphop. The inventor of .com, a Black man by the name of Emmett McHenry, is on the advisory board of .eco. Very significant from a Black perspective. Then I'm gonna land my plane with this. Get your mobile phones out wherever you are in the world and text the word BAM to area code 323-451-5050. One more time. Text the word BAM to area code 323-451-5050. The SMS text blast system that we use is Black owned. Want to learn more about that? Buy Black on BlackFriday.com. I'm Brian Franklin, and I approve that message. And I'm done.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Scott Evans, and I'm here to help other entrepreneurs
My name is ScottEvansDesign.com. I do WordPress sites, social media marketing with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, trying to get lead generation. So if you need help with your website, creating front-end design, back-end design, I've been in tech for many years. So please contact me, email me, ScottEvansDesign.com. I'm here to help. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, tell me that, man. I didn't know you did that.
Hello, my name is Dream Thomas, aka Dreamer. Maybe I should take my glasses off. Yeah. So I do a little bit of everything. I'm into the entertainment with acting. I teach people how to get into drama, style, fashion. I also help with I have a company called Dream Talks Cleanse, where it's about taking care of your food, what you put into your body, to kind of get yourself back. You know, we put a lot in our body, so you gotta cleanse. I do dream healings. I'm just all spiritual, but I love everything about the entertainment. You know, you're looking at your future president one day, so I do everything, and I'm just all about connecting, bringing everybody together, and definitely making the world a better place. So.
How can we connect with you?
You can Instagram me at Dreamer Thomas.
Dreamer Thomas. All
yes.
right. Now, I don't want to call people out. I know there's an entrepreneur in here that hadn't come up yet. Joy. Joy. One of my sisters, I'm going to call you up. Thank you for coming out, but I got to put you on the spot.
For Jay, I will come up. I was trying to give myself some vocal rest.
Oh, okay.
But I am Joy Donnell. And do I start to talk about this? I am Joy Donnell, and I'm hailing from Los Angeles. I have been a guest on Jay's show before, and just a big fan of the whole family. I am basically a media entrepreneur. So I actually run a media department. I do film, I do television, I do voiceover, I launched an entire podcast network, and I co-founded the Center for Intersectional Media and Entertainment called CIME, C-I-M-E, CIME for short, alongside Monica Lay, who is VP of Film at Miramax, and Dr. Nicole Hager, who did all of her research about race, gender, and Hollywood. And so we provide resources and research for entertainment. And we are creating pipelines for the next generation to be able to come into the industry and actually have people who are vested in their well-being and their growth and their thriving. So that is essentially what I do. My voice is a little tired today because I've been recording all week. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Thank you, Joy. One of the things, guys, coming out? Oh, all right. That's Joy's husband, right? Yes. Hey, what's happening? One of the things, guys, before we close on out, make sure you get your food and your drink here so you don't have to get out of here so we can mingle around, chit-chat. One of the things I'm big on is collaboration. So we just talked, Joy just mentioned film, right? Her organization. We have filmmakers in here. We have all types of business owners and entrepreneurs in here. And at this time, like I said, connect with each other, talk to each other, exchange numbers, because that's what it's all about, collaboration. So I got a new platform. It's going to come out sometime. I can't promise when, but it's called blackcollab.com. Nice. And it's a platform where what we're doing right here today, you'll be able to do it online, free platform. Everybody can collab. So if I have a watch company like Emir, and I have a brother that has a suit company, maybe they can collaborate on a combination, a combo package or whatever. Anything like that, because once again, it's about working together, pulling levers. So you can lift bigger things when you pull the right levers. It's not about just what can I do, and what can I help Melvin do, what can I help Joy do. So it's all about connecting with each other and understanding that I don't need to make $1 off of Mel, but how can I help him make money? How can we connect? It's not about necessarily exchanging dollars. It's about exchanging ideas. It's about exchanging networks, community. and that way we all can grow from that. So make sure that you take this time. You know, you guys feel free to mingle, get the food, the drink, and yeah, you ready? No, but get the food and the drink, and use this time, if you have extra time, to really leverage it and make those connections, because you never know. That email that Mel's PR people sent me, we wouldn't be sitting here now if she didn't send it. And I delete probably about 500 emails a day, right? But it got through, and now look at us. We're collabing. This is the first one, and I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot more together. You know, so I want to thank you guys for coming out. I truly appreciate the BEB family, Mel's family out here coming out. And like I said, let's collab, guys. Get your drip. I hope you enjoyed that great Q&A session with myself, Melvin Graham, director and executive producer, and also Sherman Perryman, executive producer. Now, if you didn't watch or listen to the full interview with Melvin Graham on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 408, make sure you go back and do that, because this Q&A comes directly after that interview. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can go watch the initial video just by clicking the link in the bio and then click my latest YouTube video. If you want to listen to the podcast version, just click the link in the bio and click on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and you'll get the latest episode. Now, if you're watching on another platform, click the appropriate link, or you can go to blackentrepreneurBlueprint.com. See you on the podcast.